Howdy everybody, Steve here, KM9G. Last time I did a video like this, it was all about portable handy-talkie type antennas or 2 meter 70 centimeter antennas. This one is going to be about portable HF antennas. Let's get started. Some of these antennas I have used and used quite extensively. This antenna right here that I'm showing you has got lots of miles on it. It's actually sitting on my workbench right back there because it's my last POTA activation antenna. I'll have links for all of these antennas, including, where possible, videos that I've done on these antennas in the description down below for you. This one here is pretty slick because it is laser engraved to make it really easy to find where you are on the band. What you do is you go out one day and you set it up with all your ground radials in your activation habitat, your natural area, and then you get it tuned up and you make a little note, a little cheat sheet for you that says, if I put it at 14 3/4, 14 and 4 tick marks, 14 and 7 units, whatever it is that you want to call it, that's 20 meters. It's not 20 meters, it's just an example. And you do that for all of the bands. This thing here will work from 80 meters with this included coil all the way up to 6 meters, 50 megahertz, depending on how you have it tuned and how many sections of the whip you pull out and those kinds of things. I like coil-loaded verticals because they pack down very compact and they can fit in your backpack very easily and they cover a wide range of bands. Another thing that they do is they are what's called high Q, so they will actually reject signals that are just a little bit outside of where you are tuned in for. So you're not going to get the entire 20 meter band in one sweep with an antenna like this. Sometimes you might not. And the part of the 20 meter band you don't get, like if you're working FT8 and a friend of yours is sitting at another park bench adjacent to you, you won't be able to hear him. He won't be interfering with you. It'll be a pretty cool sight. So I told you it was sitting on the workbench behind me. I went and grabbed it. This is the deal. Is this the one? Yeah, this is the one that's got the laser etching on it. And it does the thing. At the end of the video, I'll show you some tricks about these adapter threads here because these are not 3/8 24. These are M10. And I got some cool adapters for you at the end, so stick around for that. All right, the next antenna I used, and a lot of people told me, oh, that won't work. There's no way that can work. Well, I proved that it worked in a follow-up video. The first video would have gotten too long if I had done like how to tune all of these antennas and are they resonant and do they work, which I did. People still complained. So I left the contacts out until the second video where I did some voice contacts and some FT8 contacts to show that they worked. The cool part about this one here is if you've got a band of choice, you take, stop doing that. You take one of these little coils here. So this one here is for 7 megahertz, and you take this whip and you plug it into your antenna tripod or whatever the case may be in order to get it held up into the air. These are actually direct BNC mounts. So you either need a BNC adapter to SO239 or PL259 or whatever your flavor is, or if you've got one of those Elecraft radios or Xiegu radios, you can actually mount this directly on the radio and drag a counterpoise behind you. So you take one of these, you take this, you take your counterpoise, take your coax, take your radio, or skip the coax and take your radio, and you're on the air. So back to the portable theme of the video, this stuff fits in a pocket, guys. It's like the whole kit would fit in your cargo pants pocket. And I know you're all wearing cargo pants. So I'll leave a link for those videos in the description down below as well. Next antenna that I got for you is from my buddy Adam K6ARK, and he's got a bunch of different flavors, and these are pretty slick little units. He's got some 5-watt versions, he's got some 20-watt versions, he's got some that are BNC male, some that are SMA, all kinds of different connector options and so forth. And these are little kits that you build yourself, and you can make a 9-to-1 or a 49-to-1. Or you can even get up to 100 watts if you get the PL259 version, and that's a chunky boy right there. So these are fun little kits. If you have good eyes and a good set of tweezers, let me show you this matching unit here, because you can't really even hardly see it, but there's a little grain of rice there on the workbench. That is the capacitor that you put on to here when you do your soldering. I recommend a set of what's called hold close tweezers, so you have to squeeze them to open instead of squeeze them to close like you do with the normal, like trim your eyebrow hairs type tweezers. Speaking of, probably should do that. They hold closed, so they'll hold this thing and you don't have to like worry about losing this little grain of rice deal here. It's a fun kit, and for the price, you might even want to get a couple of them just in case you have a little trouble with the build. And these things pack up and they'll fit in the palm of your hand. He's got some 3D printed wire winders that will hold the BNC and the wire. He doesn't get you the wire. I'll get you some links for wire later on in the video. This one here is the JPC-12, and what I like best about the JPC-12 is this little carrying bag that it comes with. And some of you guys are going to say that looks a lot like the Buddy Stick Pro. Well, this is a video about antennas you can get from Amazon. Buddy Pole makes really good antennas, but you can't get them on Amazon, so I can't put them in the video. But I did an activation with this when I was up in Wisconsin. I like the fact that it's small, that it packs up, that it's super easy to use. People have complained about these radials. This is like the old ribbon cable type stuff you'd use to connect floppy drives or hard disks inside of your computer case, and you're supposed to separate them out so that you can fan them out into radials. I understand that these things get broken, and sometimes the quality control isn't all that good, and they're actually not electrically connected to the ring terminal at the end here. Consider this to be a disposable part of the antenna, and because I use so many different antennas, I have a bunch of radials that are connected to my antenna. Let me show you real quick. This here is my woodworking clamp mount that has a trucker antenna mount on top of it with a 3/8 24. But you see this little guy dangling down here? This is how I do my ground radials on my antennas. I have another matching set of these that has 5 wires coming out of it, or 4 wires or 3 wires, depending on how I feel like playing that day, and then I just connect it up to this, and I can take that and I can move it over to all of my other antenna systems as well. So it's a really easy, convenient way for me to take care of antennas, and it gets rid of these kinds of things right here. So something to think about, and I'll leave this video down in the description as well. This one here has come up from time to time, and I think that this is pretty slick. There have been a couple of videos where this is actually really easy to disassemble. Down inside, I don't know if they're not going to get you a good view, but down inside here, there is like a little screw, and down you can remove these screws and take it apart, and then you can modify this and do all kinds of cool stuff with it. So the top side of this is the center conductor of your coax, and the bottom side of this is the braid of the coax, the shield, the outer conductor, the ground side, if you will, depending on, it's where you connect your radials. If you remove that one screw inside the hole, check it with your continuity meter, check it with your multimeter, then you don't have a connection to the ground and you have to make your own. And then you can use one of these screws here to make your own ground connection. So it's extremely versatile. It's extremely cheap at $39. It comes with a 16.4 foot whip. And the way they have this laid out, it looks like there's 2 whips, but I doubt there's 2. Oh no, that's the ground spike. So there's the ground spike and there's the whip. It's just, they're not showing you the whole thing, so I kind of had to like think a little bit on it there. So at 16.4 feet or 5 meters, this is a quarter wave on 20, 5, 10, 15, 20 meters. It's a quarter wave on 20. It's going to be resonant on 20. By the way, make sure you look right below the price tag here. You see how these are? Some of these are going to have coupons. Click the coupons. Save yourself some money. But this is resonant on 20 meters and above because you just shrink the whip down to get to a higher band. So 20, 17, 15, 12, 11, 10, and 6. And then I've also seen, I haven't done it myself, I still need to do that. I got too many videos to make. Do it on 2 meters. It's supposed to work on 2 meters also. All of that without an antenna tuner. And with the Coffee and Ham Radios boys no longer selling antennas, there are new antennas on the market. This is a 49-to-1 on one side, and you can kind of see what looks like a little toroid on the other side. It's flippable. So there's a 49-to-1 on one side, there's a 9-to-1 on the other side. This is made out of circuit board material. And I can't tell if it's a kit or if it's built, but it'll run a ton of bands depending on how you get it connected. And it looks like it's kind of the brute force method. It's actually 2 separate antennas attached to one winder, as opposed to one antenna attached to one winder with, but I mean, I'd put a switch on it, to switch between the one. You have to change the wire over, and you have to change the BNC connector over to your coax in order to get to the other type of antenna. But for $60, not hard to beat. And then there is a 10% coupon if you click the box. Make sure you click the box. Oh, it wants me to sign in. I'm not signing in. Next up, we've got WindCamp. This is a dipole from WindCamp, and there is a balun inside of this center tube here. And then you get 2 wire winders, which also act as insulators. And then depending on how far out you spread the wire is depending on what band you put this thing on. So inside the tube, you got a 1-to-1. It's got that faux carbon fiber look. It's all sexy. And WindCamp makes some really good stuff, and they've been making ham radio products for a long time. I have a couple of WindCamp accessories on my ICOM 705, and I have a couple of WindCamp accessories on my Guzizoo FT818. This antenna has been on my radar for a while. I just haven't had a chance to review it yet. Here are the adapters that I was telling you that I was going to show you later in the video. I'm a man of my word. I'm showing you the adapters. When you come here, take a look because they have the G adapter, the C adapter. You can see the thread pitch differences on one side versus the other side. And this is a 3/8 24 male to male, they call it the G adapter. So maybe it's just an optical delusion. Let's see, we have the F adapter, and I have one of these and I've used this before. This is a 3/8 24 to M10 by 1.5 adapter. So it's going to get you a 3/8 24 stud onto a M10 base. So like the JPC antennas are M10, and the Chameleon antennas are 3/8 24, and all the CB trucker mount stuff and the ham sticks are all 3/8 24. So come in here and check out the adapter that you need. Come on, give me the H adapter. The H adapter is a 3/8 24 to 3/8 24 female to female. That's the H adapter. I said that backwards, I think. And then the D adapter is M10 1.5 to 3/8 24, and I think it was the F was the other direction. Yeah, M10 1.5 female to 3/8 24 male. And this one is M10 1.5 male to 3/8 24 female. So check about 4 or 5 times in a row to make sure that you've got your mind wrapped around which direction you need to go and which threads are on which side and which gender those threads are. And then come over here and grab one of these adapters and get your antenna connected. This one here is another one of the ones that I haven't had a chance to test, but this is a built end-fed half wave. And they've got it marked as 80, 40, 30, 20, 17, 15, 12, and 10. And we know that that might be a thing with an 80 meter end-fed half wave. I don't usually have that much wire. I usually do 40. And on the 40, you get the harmonics. So you get 40, 20, 15, and 10. And with this 80, you might get it. But they have a couple of different versions. So the big boy, the 80 through 10, is $89. The 40 through 10 is $79. Oh, they got the 400 watt model. The 400 watt model is $109. The 1000 watt model, I want to open that up and see what's inside that. $135. And then the 400 watt 80 meter model is $135. It says it's got a 64-to-1 inside and it has no tuning necessary. Interesting. I've done some reviews on some Guzizoo products. I have some more coming up. So far, I've been pretty happy with them. It'd be fun to play with. And if you don't like to spend a lot of money on antennas, then this is another way to get yourself into the setting, into the zone, into the play space for your antennas. These are, we call these Cobra head adapters or banana plug adapters or banana socket adapters, and you can get them in a couple of different varieties. These are BNC male, so you can plug it directly into your radio, or they have, I'll leave a link in the description. They have BNC female versions so that you can plug it into the end of your coax. And consider this an easy way to make a dipole or an off-center fed dipole or an end-fed half wave or anything, because you have the ability to kind of monkey around with the different parts here. And there's some holes in here for, you know, where you can mount up some zip ties or something along those lines to screw in your toroids. And these banana sockets, these banana receptacles, are a standard size for regular 4-meter banana plugs. So you can even get fancy and put 4-meter banana plugs on the end of your wire. But these unscrew and you can shove the wire underneath, just like they show in the lower half of the picture here. Great way to play around and experiment with antennas. And at $7, these are super cheap. But you're going to need some wire. So I recommend the BN Tech Go wire. This is 22 gauge wire, and it's good enough for up to 100 watts. In my experience of using it, and I've put thousands of contacts through this wire. It's that silicone jacketed wire, so it's hard to tangle up. It doesn't have any memory, and this is $15. This is technically 200 feet. You get 100 feet of black and 100 feet of red, so you can make a nice big antenna with this. 40-meter dipole, for example, is going to be 2 30-something foot sections after you get all the tuning done. $15 for the wire and $7 for the connector. And you've got yourself 5 or 6 different flavors of antenna that you can carry with you. I'm sure you got some zip ties at home to take care of all of that. One of the things you can do with these guys is you can shove in a tuner, and there is a manual tuner here that is what they call a Z-match tuner. That's an interesting looking antenna right there. I can see why you'd need an antenna tuner with an antenna like that. I kind of want to play with that antenna too. I'll have a video on this guy coming out here pretty soon. You can see there are 2 capacitors behind the knobs, and then you've got a bunch of, those look like they're inductors, but they could be resistors. I can't tell other than, you know, the size and the shape and whatnot. And then you have a multi-tapped toroid here, and there is another switch on the back. So we're gonna experiment with that and play with it and see what happens when you throw all the different switches and do all the different things. Because why are there taps on the toroid if there's no way to access the taps on the toroid from the tuning side of the house, from the fiddly knob side of the house? Be sure you're subscribed to the channel to make sure that you see when that video comes out. And if you don't like doing all the manual fiddly stuff, then there is this automatic antenna tuner that will work with any of the antennas that I showed you across the top here, and I've got linked in the description down below. And that antenna tuner, I have a video for you right over here showing how it tunes on all kinds of different bands. Thanks for being awesome. I'll see you over there.